Fast life. Shit.
What's the deal, people? You are now getting an earful. I got my man Voc on the building. It's your boy Ron Raymond, and we are going to talk about everything and anything, and hopefully you have a good show. Vo, what's good?
Chilling, man. Work day. Took care of the kids. Took care of the fam.
Yep.
The nighttime is ours, so
Yeah,
we had to check in.
We own the nights. I think there's a movie called like We Own the Nights.
Vampire life. You know how that go.
Yeah. What's good, man? How was the week? How was fantasy? I know we're in a few leagues together, but I think no, actually I'm only in two leagues. 2 out of the 3 leagues that I'm in, you're in it with me. So
Yep. I'm in 2 leagues. I couldn't do more than 2 leagues this year. 3 leagues was stressful. Even 2 leagues is stressful. Right now, I think the money league for me is this league right here.
Red League.
That's the league I'm focused on right now. We got that other league with our men and that league. I really, I took a gamble in that league. First gamble was, going with rookie running backs as draft picks, right? So I went with Bijan and Jameer. Bijan Stallworth, like nothing wrong with Bijan. Obviously we see
how Bread League. Hold on, you talk about Bread League?
No, I'm talking about the other league, not Bread League.
Okay. You talk about Negro League.
Negro League, yep. So I basically got, the same way Darius got, Bijan and Jameer Bread League. I got Bijan. And don't get me wrong, like I said, Bijan Stallworth, we see how the Lions have been using Jameer. Yeah. But really, my next gamble there was quarterback, right? And so I went so heavy with the team. I feel like I got a decent team, but if you don't got a quarterback, it's for naught, right? And so I ended up drafting Deshaun Watson, and it just hasn't paid dividends for me. So, he's been hurt. I've had to sub him. It's just been terrible. So that league.
Yeah, I sent you a trade.
I've been getting fire sale offers, man, and I'm not that type of guy, man. One guy who will go unnamed, classic goal, even on my back pause, and I'm not with it. I had to decline a few offers from him, but that league, it might be done for.
Yeah. Now it's crazy that you say that, like the comparison to how you drafted, because in that league during draft day, I seen Saquon, Jacobs, and Damian Pierce. And I'm like, yo, these are number one, technically RB1s, low end RB1s or true RB1s that was on my board. Yep. And I think I'm playing stud in Bread League, and his team is comparable to that. Mine is Saquon, but he got some of the similar players. Like I had Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle went down. I lost in Negro League this week as well. But like the drafting is crazy because it's funny how like football is taking its shape. Like 2-3 years, not even 2-3 years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, running backs was a premium when you're talking about like drafting and how you're going to set up your team, and getting a young one was even more of a premium, because if you're getting a guy like Bijan coming out, Gibbs or whoever it is, you're always going to kind of get that like upper fresh legs. Hopefully he doesn't get injured, but he's, especially on a team like the Falcons, he should be eating on that team.
Right.
He should be eating on that team.
And back in obviously back in them days, like, running backs were the bell cows. Like they got fed back in those days. These days, you're seeing a lot of running back by committees.
Right.
You're seeing, especially like fantasy wise, people have been implementing the zero running back strategy.
Yep.
Running backs are devalued on the field, but they've been devalued all around. You know what I mean? Like, even like down to fantasy. So
right, and in real life,
right.
like real football, like contract wise, what like Saquon and them guys is getting. Like they just paid Jonathan Taylor some cash, but I felt like that was out of the whole back and forth to make it like a PR type of
situation. Was weird. Let's be, So
right. So let's talk some week 7 stuff, man. So the NFL has a funny way of like checking you and being like, no team in the first 5 games is that ill. And you really have to judge a team like really in late November and December, going into the playoffs, to really judge like who's a top of the crop when it comes to these games. So I'll let you kick it off, man. What was your favorite game to watch this week?
So I mean, my favorite game to watch this week. I mean, I don't know if it was my favorite, but it was interesting watching that Lions and Ravens game.
I was at that game.
Yeah, I saw that story.
Yeah, I was at that.
I was peeping,
Yeah.
I think that I wouldn't say the Lions got exposed. I was listening to sports talk radio myself today, and one of these commentators made a good point, right? Lamar has a really good record against NFC teams. Okay,
Yeah.
Obviously we know when it comes to divisions, teams know each other inside and out.
Right.
But when it comes to these games where you see teams once every couple of years, maybe,
right.
You don't have the blueprint as much. And, Lamar's the real deal. And I think the Lions struggled with that, right? Again, I'm not going to say they got exposed, but I will say that, the Ravens show that, they're the real deal. Like, I'm not saying that they're Super Bowl front runners yet, but, they're a force to be reckoned with at the least, for sure.
It's funny because I was at that game and it happened like Saturday night. One of the boys hit me up, was just like, yo, Detroit's in town. And I've been meaning to go to a Baltimore Ravens game just because I live in the area. And it's cool to kind of see what, other teams outside of the Pats play and stuff like that. So we got good seats and we went last minute. And I was expecting a really good game. Defensive teams, a couple big plays here and there, but more so of a defensive set and who's going to make the big play on offense and a play on defense to really get that win. And to see how the Lions was manhandled and to see what Lamar could be, because I got my take on that too, and we could get that a little later. But just in terms of that game itself, like, I don't think that said anything about the Ravens. I don't think it said anything about Detroit. And the reason for that is because with Detroit, Jared Goff historically doesn't play well on the road. When he's away from the dome, he doesn't play well as a Detroit Lion on the road. They were missing Montgomery. I know Gibbs, from a fantasy perspective, had some points, and he had a touchdown, but those are garbage time stuff. Like, he in the true moments of the game, that man was on lock. And so for me, I don't really. They were missing a big asset in terms of Montgomery. Montgomery is really a bell cow for them, and he opens up the offense. And again, like the last episode I said, he blocks, and he's not going to get sacked. Right. Or Jared Goff's not going to get sacked.
Right.
But I don't know what I've seen from Lamar. And the reason why is because, again, last night, big argument with these Raven dudes, man. And my best quarterback in the league is Joe Burrow.
You getting into arguments with Ravens fans at the game?
Dude, I'm walking, a true story, right? I'm walking down and I'm talking to Fenzi about the Ravens game and all that, and he's going through the process, and he's a big Ravens fan.
Yep.
And Fenzi want to go, he's like, what y'all talking about? What y'all talking about? Dude said, what y'all talking about? Fenzi want to go, I'm talking to this Patriots fan, and you know how that goes.
Yeah.
You know how that goes. Oh, you can't talk.
All you have to say is Patriots, man.
Oh, my God. Most hated.
And these dudes gonna go crazy.
They're gonna go crazy. And like, so for me, when I look at Lamar and I look at that game, I can't really tell who's who. If they had faced in like December, then I'd have been like, oh yeah. But again, it goes to show, like, it's any given Sunday, and you could get smacked around no matter who you are. So,
right.
It's one of those things.
It's definitely an any given Sunday. I couldn't have said it any better than that.
Yes, any given Sunday for sure. Like, look at what the Pats did. The Pats.
I think the Pats are slightly different in the sense that, that's a division opponent. You know what I mean? Like, they got the blueprint on Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, and that's Bill being Bill when it comes to that.
Bill hasn't beat that team, he beat them once Mac's rookie year. That game we won by a little bit, and then they came down and cracked us at the end of the season.
Yep.
That's the year when Mac won 10 games his rookie season. I didn't, to be honest with you, I don't know much about that game. I didn't watch it. I just wasn't. And in fairness, I was also at the Ravens game, so I couldn't really watch the game the way I wanted to. I did watch the game-winning drive. What I did watch the last 2 minutes where Buffalo scored, and then we came down and scored. I still don't know how we got down the field, um, and actually got to the 1 yard line so Matt could throw that touchdown. I don't know what happened when they got the ball back.
Yeah, that wasn't a game I watched live. I was red zoning it a lot on Sunday, but
right,
I did catch that winning drive. I'm sorry, that winning like series essentially.
right,
So,
right.
so yeah, yet to be it's to be determined how he actually made it down the field. But I mean, like I said, man, division opponent. That's one of those trap games almost for Buffalo, especially
Right,
coming off a win off a loss last week. You know what I
right,
mean? So
right.
and it begs the question, like, who is Buffalo? You know what I mean? Like this is trouble territory, and I think their schedule gets difficult.
I like Josh, right, and I like Stephon Diggs, but outside of that, and here's the thing: Josh and Stephon Diggs are so like they're the combo of both of them together is dynamic enough that it scares you. But outside of that, they got no true run game. Like they don't got a true guy. Like I know James Cook is the main feature back, but when they get to the end zone, they're going to Murray, and it was Harris, but he got hurt and he's on IR right now. So who's their true, real
They don't have
force?
they don't have. That's why I think the coach said he first off that team can be one dimensional, two dimensional.
Correct.
Right? When I say
Correct.
two dimensional, I mean they literally live off of Josh Allen. If he
Yeah.
can't hit the ball to Stephon Diggs, if he
Yeah.
can't run the ball, they
Yeah.
can't do anything. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Like a guy like Gabe Davis is supposed to be ill, right? Like he's supposed to be there, Robin to that Batman and Stephon Diggs, and like he doesn't do that. And I really think they got a good piece in Kincaid. I'm sorry, I'm watching that game, that 49ers game, and the rookie Addison is going off right now.
See,
But in terms of the rookie Kincaid, their tight end, he could he could be something dynamic as well. But I don't believe in the Bills per se. I believe in Josh Allen. I believe in Stephon Diggs. I believe that they have clutch time ability to win a game if they're in a dogfight. But they're not a team. To me, they've dropped down to like maybe the fourth to fifth best team in the AFC right now. I think there's a few teams better. I think the Ravens moved up. They moved down.
the Ravens, they're crafty, right? They have more ways to be able to win a football game. The Ravens definitely, the Dolphins,
Yeah.
those are two teams clearly better than Buffalo right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Unless
Right.
Buffalo clean it up a bit.
Right. Right.
It's tough. It's tough for them. It might be quiet for them real soon. And I'll tell you this:
That
if they
window's
don't make
closing.
what was that?
That window is closing.
I was just about to say that. If for some reason they don't make the playoffs this year,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna be talking about firing the coach. You're gonna be talking about, you know what? I'm not so sure they're gonna be talking about moving on from Josh Allen because it's hard to get good quarterbacks.
No.
But
Josh
they
Allen.
will be talking about moving off that coach.
No, they won't. That coach and the GM just signed like a 5-year deal.
Did they?
Yeah, they signed that like last year, this summer. They just signed an extension this summer, and Stephon Diggs is out of there. If they don't win, and you got to understand, Stephon Diggs has been given he doesn't want to be there. From what I've heard,
for sure. I've seen the reports.
Yeah, from what I've heard, he does not want to be there. And because he doesn't want to be there, and because they just signed both GM and head coach at the hip for like a long-term contract, Josh Allen's not going nowhere, and I think Stephon Diggs is a person that's out of there, just because he's been causing a little bit of noise in terms of not being happy. And I think
I'm sorry. I do agree that you make a good point. Stephon Diggs definitely will be shipped up out of there. He's already expressed dismay. He's shot down the rumors, but where there's smoke, there's fire, right?
Right.
But but I've also seen coaches get fired early in contracts. And one thing I've heard about the coach over there is, they haven't been able to get over that hump. You know what I
That's a
mean?
fact.
Like you were almost a perennial, AFC championship team. If you don't even make the AFC championship this year, like you just said, that window's closing.
Yep.
You gotta start rolling heads at that point, or come close to it.
Right. Nah, I mean, again, Buffalo. So I'm gonna go. Let's go back to the Ravens and kind of put them, compare them to Buffalo. To me, they're the same team, right? The only difference with Baltimore is that Baltimore has 2 chips under that head coach. Just like Bill, he's kind of grandfathered into his coaching plan in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about John Harbaugh. Now, I think his name is McDermott. I can't think of it right now.
Sean McDermott, yep.
Sean McDermott, right? So in terms of Sean and his job and his role, he could be let go too. But the Buffalo Bills as a whole and the Baltimore Ravens are teams that does extremely well during this regular season. And at least in Buffalo's case, they go to the AFC Championship game. And in the Ravens' case, they have not. Lamar Jackson has played. He missed 6 games last year. He missed 6 games the year before. He's been in the league since 2018. And in all seasons, whether it was due to just him being sat out for playoff implications or really being hurt, he's missed time. He's only won 1 game in the playoffs, right? He's 1-3, and he hasn't gotten out of the wild card round ever. So they both have high expectations, and they both haven't done anything to really tell us or show us like, yo, they could go up against Pat Mahomes and those dudes.
Even KC, like Pat Mahomes is just such a damn good quarterback that you could put him up against anybody with this team that they have currently. As long as you have a healthy Travis Kelce, it's scary hours every time with them.
It is, but and here's the crazy thing about the Kansas City. Kansas City is actually they draft well because Isaiah Pacheco is coming in his own, right? And then Rashee Rice, who I've tried to trade for in a couple fantasy leagues, is going to be that dude for them, and he's going to be a wide receiver 1 fantasy wise. He's going to be a top tier receiver in the next 2 to 3 seasons because he's showing right now, like Kadarius Toney, he's beat them for that job. Like he's showing to
Kadarius Toney's
trust.
But
he was supposed to come in there and be the guy, for them.
He was supposed to come in the NFL and be the guy. He's trash.
Yeah, and Madden, he's cool too. So I just think the Chiefs are in a good place because your first championship you had Kelce and Hill. You take away Hill, he's now in Miami doing his thing, and you probably wish you still had him, but you still want to bowl without him, and you're developing the skill set of Pat Mahomes to be great. Yes, it's primarily Kelce, but he is now being an orchestrator when it comes to targeting different wide receivers and making sure that he finds the right spots and throwing off, safeties and getting guys like Rashee Rice open to score touchdowns.
No, agreed. Like I said, man, as you mentioned, it's still early. You know what I mean? And through 7 weeks, it's still not a clear-cut top team. Anybody can be beat. So, come November, December, I think we'll have a better idea of who the championship front runners are.
So you don't think Miami's for real right now?
I heard a commentator say, they're like a speedboat, but once the water start getting rough, that rain start to fall, the weather start to turn,
yeah.
Can they adapt? And I agree, they're a great team on paper.
Right.
They're a great team when it's sunny out, but once it starts to get cold outside, championships are won in the snow. You know what I mean? Championships are won in the cold. And so, can they adapt, right? Can they go on the road and get it done in a cold weather environment?
Right.
That's yet to be seen. You feel me?
I mean, last night's game between Philly and Miami did give me a little bit of clarity of who Philly is opposed to who Miami is. Miami is still missing Jalen Ramsey. They don't have their full defensive complement. You know what they came into the offseason with when they signed Jalen Ramsey. They don't have that as of yet. But for Philly, to me, showed me that Philly is for real. They're tough.
I don't know if you remember me telling you. I said this a few weeks ago. Like these guys are winning games, winning ugly games, not at full strength. Like that's the cut of a champion who you can have an ugly game for 3 quarters and then really put it together in the final minutes or the fourth quarter, and you really pull out that win. Like that's what they're doing, and it looks ugly. And some people may have questions about Philly. But boy, they really doing it right now.
No, yeah, 100%. Correct with that. Like, I honestly feel when I watch them dudes, it's tough to really gauge them because their quarterback is so calm, cool, and collective. He doesn't ever show to any type of emotion that he's frustrated or whatever.
My man is stoic.
Yeah, like so you never could read them. And it's funny, like I'm watching AJ Brown. I'm just like, yo, AJ Brown really is that dude, because in Tennessee you really couldn't gauge if he was that good of a wide receiver, like to be somebody you could win a championship with. You knew he was great, he knew he had talent, but you didn't know if he could impact the team and impact winning, like the way he has. And they're scary. And oh my goodness, Christian McCaffrey just ran something stupid.
I got Christian McCaffrey. I'm going up against. I got the game won, but I don't need no funny business from Christian.
Oh, Christian McCaffrey just ran something stupid.
I don't need no funny business from Christian. Right off of this thing right here.
Nah, McCaffrey definitely he just caught like a 40-yard screen pass and went
My man got 19 points. My man went from an oblique injury, and I was out here researching oblique injuries, like to make sure my man not playing today.
That's crazy.
They talk about it's hard to move with an oblique injury.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right into the stadium.
Yeah. But I think, to wrap up the Dolphins, I think the Dolphins is definitely a team that, we have to like consider. And we have to like really just see what happens when they get their pieces back, because they don't I know A-Chain's a rookie, but they don't have A-Chain, right? They don't have that versatility that they had for those 3 weeks when they were looking crazy and putting up 70 on dudes. So I want to see what they look like healthy. But Philly is for sure, I think, after yesterday, it has to be the number 1 team in the league. And I don't care what the 49ers do tonight, because they're supposed to beat this Minnesota team with no Justin Jefferson. But I just think Philly is is more complete, more poised, and like they don't panic when they're in tough situations. They face adversity really well, and I like that about them. So I think they're ranked number 1 right now, definitely in the NFL as a top team to be reckoned with. I don't know about Super Bowl. I don't know if they win the Super Bowl, but I think they're definitely.
Let's not forget, man. I think they got it in the back of their minds. You know what I mean? As they win these close games and they continue to progress,
yeah,
this might be one of them Super Bowl contenders.
They are. No, they're definitely contenders, and I think only 2 teams could even compete with them in the NFC right now, and that's the Lions and that's the 49ers. I don't care what Seattle's record is. I don't care what the Rams record is. I don't care whoever. It's a 3-team race in the NFC. Eagles, 49ers, and the Lions. I know dudes hate talking about the Cowboys, but their roster is built so that they could win, but they don't have it. So I'm not even gonna. They don't have championship pedigree in that locker room.
You know about the Cowboys, man. All you gotta do is pop on First Take You'll get all you'll understand the Cowboys after you listen to Stephen A. Man, that's it. You know,
Yeah,
they're
that's a
gonna
fact.
always fumble the bag.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact. They
Them
always,
boys,
yeah,
you could bring them boys to the bag. They're gonna fumble.
yeah. No, 100%. You ain't never lie about
You heard
that.
what I said? You could bring them boys to the bag. They're gonna fumble it.
Oh man. Yo, bro, quick question for you. How'd you like your fantasy team, NBA?
Okay, yep. So just to catch the audience up, we had our fantasy draft last night.
Yep, I'm looking at my team right
Honestly,
now.
I like my team.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you my thought process as I was drafting, and it's, I'm trying to feed off the rules. You know what I mean? Like I want guys that's gonna rebound. I want guys that's gonna get assists. I want guys
Yep.
that's gonna get steals, and I want guys that's
Yep.
gonna be efficient as far as scoring the
Scoring.
ball. And
Yeah.
so I went with a lot of big men, and then
Yep.
I also went with guys that I thought could be efficient. Like one of my kind of dark horse draft picks was Russell Westbrook. You know what I mean? And I feel
Yep.
like that was a dark horse draft pick because there's the stigma around Russell, but I feel like Russell, especially this preseason, has tailored his game.
Yep.
The biggest issue for Russell last year at one point was shooting the mid ranges where he was bricking everything. That boy couldn't hit a mid range to save his life, and I think he's eliminated that from his game. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna be Russ, just minus the jump shots, and he fit on that Clippers team. They love him. That
Yeah.
boy's gonna get his run. He stat stuff. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I know why you say dark horse. I understand why you label him as a dark horse, but to me, it's not more of a dark horse because he is a two-time MVP.
Right.
He understands the game. He's young and he showed you that in the playoffs last year when PG and
Exactly.
Kawhi was not there. So to me, his value went down from public perception in terms of where he got drafted in the league. And I understand why you use the word dark horse, but I think to me it's a killer because I had him last year on my fantasy team. It was one of my last picks, and on the Lakers, you're playing with Braun and AD, where
it
was a different system.
He just didn't fit on that
right.
team.
And I think for the Clippers, he fits, and he gets a whole off season with them. He gets a whole off season with Kawhi, with whatever. And they've been looking for a hungry PG. They went through John Wall. They went through what's my man's name? Dawson cat that wears the goggles. Reggie Jackson.
Yep.
They went through Reggie Jackson. They went through a series of different point guards. I'm not saying they found it, but they definitely have a piece in Westbrook that is, interesting. And every year we always say the Clippers could be in that running for a championship, but they can't stay healthy, so you can't put them up there. But I'm looking at your team right now. I like your pieces. Sabonis, Levine, Booker's a big pick, and I want to see what Fred VanVleet does outside of that system. With who he had before, Nick Nurse, and he's now with Ime, and Ime does like to play defense. How does he fit in that defensive scheme?
What I liked about VanVleet is they just signed him to a big deal, which means they're going to use him as the man on that team. Like, and he's gonna. He stat stuffs too. He has the ability to stat stuff. You know what I mean?
He's a champion. He's a veteran guy in the locker room to teach Jalen Green and some of the young guys that they just drafted to be part of that team. So, no, 100%. I agree with you 100%.
How do you feel about your team?
Honest truth is, because of where I drafted, made my strategy easy. But it was whether if I wanted to drag Wembanyama first or try to see if I could get him in the second round. And because of what I've seen in the group chat, and there's been a lot since the preseason games, there's been a lot more public opinion about Wemby. I was afraid that if I let him go after the sixth pick,
was going to snatch him up. He's nasty. Like the boy is.
Yeah.
He's way taller than everyone else, and he played like KD. in
Yeah.
terms of how he gets shifty. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And my only concern with him, obviously, is health.
Yeah, it's health. Yeah, with a guy his size, can he maintain the course of an NBA season? But I think the San Antonio Spurs are so efficient and educated enough to know that they're not gonna win anything with him today, to build around him and let him get his feet wet, but also preserve him. I don't think he's going to play a lot of games this year. I
Mm-hmm.
think he's going to play about 45 to 50 games. I don't think he plays a full 65. And if he does, that's a big accomplishment to him. I just don't think he plays a full 60 or not. I definitely not playing 82, but 65 is that requirement for players to now get their accolades and whatever. But if he's going to win, actually, he might have to if he wants to win Rookie of the Year, because Chet Holmgren is coming for that title too.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So, but to my fantasy team, outside of drafting like the number one pick, because when I was looking, I'm like, yo, I'm either gonna I could go get KD on the bottom, who's rated ADP 12, or I could go grab Steph Curry for the 3-point shooting. But honestly, because I drafted 6 and I did a few mock drafts, I knew that I could just target certain players that I could just easily get. So like Kyrie, Jamal, Porzingis. My team is injury prone if Porzingis and Wemby.
I seen that. When I seen your team, I said, hold up, Kyrie,
I'm
Paul
not worried about
George.
Kyrie. I'm not worried about Kyrie. I'm
talking about like injury prone.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried about Kyrie in a sense of missing that much games. But Wemby and KP, 100%, and Michael Porter Jr.
I was just about to say Michael Porter Jr. Put him on that list.
But I drafted Michael Porter Jr. in like my last few picks. So for me,
That's the good guy you picked.
Yeah, for me, he was a steal more than like a player that I was really relying on. I got the kid from Houston, who I think that's my dark horse, the center from Houston.
I was mad you picked him because I was gonna pick him and you picked him right before I could pick him. I had the 10th pick, you had the 6th, so you picked him 6th. If you didn't pick him 6th, he was going to drop to 10, and I was going to grab him.
Yeah, I didn't have nobody to pick at that time. So when I seen him and based on where he was supposed to get drafted, he probably was supposed to get drafted like at least 2 rounds prior, and I was just like, fuck it, let me grab him real quick. But I do feel good about the season and going into the NBA. Like tomorrow is exciting. Celtics play. Good to see that team. There's a lot of teams that I want to see. Like obviously Phoenix. I want to see what Dallas does. I want to see what the new Lakers. They're younger now. I want to see what that team does. I really want to see. For the NBA's sake, I really want a healthy Clippers team. I just want them to be healthy.
Agreed.
Like a healthy Clippers team. I just want them to be healthy.
But you know what though? You gotta call a spade, and when some shit's weird, man. Like, and I'm just going off of Kawhi. Like that guy's a weirdo, man. Like last year he had a monster game, didn't show no signs of being hurt.
Right.
And the next game, we talking about he got a knee injury. He done for the playoffs. It's just like what's really good, man. What my man Cam say? Like what's really, really, really good. You know what I
mean? They asked him too. Like right when training camp started, they asked him like, "Hey, something about the 65 game season." And what I read was he said, "No game total defines who I am as a player or whatnot."
Yeah, he don't care about what they say, what they think, what type of rules they make. But I will say, from a fan standpoint, it kind of makes for a little bit of bad basketball. Like I hate to agree with Stephen A. on that point, but it makes for bad basketball when dudes is just sitting out. You getting paid M's, super M's. Yeah. I don't care if you get your ass out there and play, bro.
Nah, 100%, 100%. It sucks because when he won that chip in Toronto, right? I thought he was going to be the best player in the league for like at least the next 5 years. You know what I mean? And he kind of has like, it's funny, right? We always say like, yo, hey, like AD, like, yo, why is AD never available? He's a herb, whatever. But Kawhi is never available. But the only reason why we give Kawhi a slight pass is because the niggas won 2 NBA rings. You know what I mean? He's won them 2 NBA championship rings, and he's been doing it for he don't got to do much in his career anymore.
He doesn't. I agree that he doesn't, but it would be sad if he don't.
Yeah, because he could have done way more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he could have done way more.
Absolutely. Yeah. So quick switch of the subject. You know, I had to talk about the man James Harden. Like, where is boy at? I'm gonna tell you where boy's at. All right. My man think he a rapper. All right.
Yeah.
Think he a rapper. You know, rappers get emotional. You know what I mean? My man hanging with Lil Baby too much. All right. Like my man. I'm gonna quote my man DJ Academics. My man hanging with Lil Bit. You feel me? He chilling with Baby. He throwing money in a strip club. Where he at, right? Yeah, I mean, reports are coming out that the Sixers, you know, he ain't show up. They don't know if he's going to be around for the first game of the season. What's this guy up to?
So his off the court activities, he's been doing that his entire career. Okay. And when he's also showed you his entire career, when he wants to leave a place, he's going to leave. He's made a lot of money. He's a Hall of Famer, first ballot. He's outside of winning a ring, he's done everything that you would want from an NBA player, right? But the one thing that he's told us, and you have to believe somebody says, yo, I'm a crackhead. You got to believe that they're a crackhead, right? You got to believe that at some point.
Believe he's smoking rocks.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So like for James, he's told you like, yo, when he's unhappy with a situation, he's going to leave. He's going to be out. And James has always showed us that. Only time that he probably didn't show us that is when he didn't have control when he was at OKC. OKC traded him, right? But every place that he's gone to, he's forced his trades. Like he went to Brooklyn. Like he got to pick the place that he wants. What we're about to see right now is maybe for the first time when he is this multi-million-dollar athlete and like somewhat of a star of a team, what we're about to see right now for the first time is, can he handle not getting what he wants? Because I don't believe the Sixers are in a position to give him what he wants. But then again, the Sixers are the same dudes that traded Simmons to the Brooklyn Nets to get Harden, right? But I don't think James is going to play for the 76ers, not one bit. I don't think he plays. I don't think he cares. I think he showed you who he is, and I think that he's comfortable in his own skin to say, yo, I wanted to be traded. The team I want to be traded to is the 76ers, and I'm not sorry, not the 76ers, is the LA Clippers, and that's it.
All right. Let me chime in here. So, yeah. Look, I agree with you. You know, if James want to go, James gonna go. Right? Yep. He's done that his whole career. Yep. I totally agree with you. Whether it's the right thing to do, you know, I'm all for player empowerment, right? But up to a point, like you can't, you know, be showing niggas your ass on the way out, on your way out. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like at every turn where he did force his way out, he showed niggas his ass. Okay. That's why I kind of joke. I say he's being a rapper because that's rapper vibes. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. They getting in his ear, real talk. I promise you that. And don't get me wrong, like he could do it. He's gonna do it. Mm-hmm. But you know, okay, you want to go to the Clippers. Like, what does that do for Russ over there? Does that stunt Russ's growth? You know what I mean? Like in his evolution over there with the Clippers. You know, does that hurt James's reputation around the league? You know, because let's not forget, you know, there was reports he wanted to go back to Houston. Houston didn't even want him. You feel me? Like, so. Yeah.
I don't think it's not Houston. I don't think it's not a team not wanting him. It's about what the 76ers are asking for. They want first round picks. Like they got to trade. Like, you know, they've gotten offers, at least from the Clippers, and what they want Terrence Mann and a few first round picks, and nobody's trying to pay that for what they believe Harden's value is. So to go back to Houston's point, I think with Houston, like, and somebody said this I heard this the other day. It was like, do you want James, if you're a young team, let's say you're Sacramento, and I'm not saying he's a fit for Sacramento. I'm just using them as an example, right? Let's say you're Sacramento, and you're a young team, do you want the influence of James Harden around your young players? Going to the club, doing all the extra shit. You know what I mean? Do you want that? Do you want that, right? Let's say you are the older team like the Clippers who's trying to win a chip. Can you count on James Harden to be available for 65 games? And when it counts, can he show up in game 6 and game 7? Can he show up in those games? I don't I don't know. I don't believe he shows up for I don't believe you know what team nah, I don't know. I'm not gonna say that.
I just think he's hurt his public stock. You know, I think like I said, like you know, the rumor has it, you know, even through that whole playoff run, like he was partying every night, right? And think about it. When they played the C's, he had a fire game 1. Where was he at the rest of the series? You feel what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I think James Harden on that bullshit, and I think and it's going to backfire because at this point in your career, you want to stretch your career. You going into the, you know, you on the back end, right? You want to you ain't just hit the back end. You walking down that hill, okay? And you want to be seen as somebody that's going to come in and change the culture for the better, right? Like you're not young James Harden anymore. Like you're not giving niggas 30, 10, and 10 like you used to. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, you really got to conform in some way. You dig what I'm saying? Like, and be a model player. And I'm not saying like, again, I'm all for player empowerment, but bro, you got to do better.
No,
Even
he has to. He gets paid to play basketball, right? And again, he makes a lot of money, and he is in that 1 percentile of like great NBA players. He might be falling off, but he's still better than majority of that league. That's there. So he definitely needs to just do his like. He's definitely going to be put in check. And somebody said, you know, is this his last season as a NBA player because of who's going to take the chance on him if he doesn't ball out this season?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. You know, value's value. Some team gonna find value in him, so it's definitely not his last year.
His contract is like when
last year. You think they're gonna mellow him?
Think about it. Like, and Melo had to. For Melo liked basketball so much and loved basketball so much that Melo had to readjust what his role was. If you're telling me that James Harden, you got to understand, James Harden is still wants to go to a different team and be the starting point guard.
And be the man.
So if that's the case, Melo readjusted his entire game to conform to what this NBA is and what his role was with the Lakers and the Houston Rockets, I believe. You know, the Portland Trailblazers. If James Harden is coming off the bench as your 2 to just score 15 points like Jamal Crawford's role, he will have a long-lasting another 5 good years in the NBA.
But I don't do that.
I don't think. He
a rapper. He want the limelight. He want to be the guy. He don't got no ghostwriters. Like, you know what I mean?
He don't want to open the show.
He want to open it. He want to close this. He want to open this. He want to close this show. He's not trying to break bread with no. You know what I mean? With no up and coming artists. He want to be the
headline.
Exactly.
He want to be the headline.
That's going to be his downfall, unfortunately.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I mean, James, it sucks because I understand why, you know, everybody likes James. I understand that 100%, but he was never a winner type caliber player to me. Like,
no, agreed. He gonna put up points. You know what I mean? He gonna excite you on the court, but you know, as far as winning culture, I don't think. And like, let's be serious about like Houston. That was cute. I'm gonna be real. All of that was cute. When they got to the real games, there wasn't nowhere to be found. You know what I mean? So, and that ain't never left James Harden.
Yeah, nah, 100%. We'll see. I mean, it hurts Philly because I feel like Philly has really tried to build around Embiid, and they just had 2 disgruntled players like Embiid's Robbins or 1A, 1B type players have never panned out. And while you were talking about James, and I was thinking about Ben Simmons because he was part of that trade that goes to Brooklyn, and Brooklyn, showed us some light in the playoffs last year, and I think they're a team that everybody's going to sleep on. And this is not a hot take. I'm not trying to prove anything, but Ben Simmons is still a talented basketball player, and he is now at least 3 years removed from that situation. He was playing in the preseason games. He should be healthy, and I wonder with the head coach that they have and the atmosphere that they're trying to build and the team chemistry that they're trying to build around some of these. They got a lot of young guys, and Ben Simmons fits that timeline because he's still relatively like 25, 26. I would love to see him have like a welcome back party to at least be a respected NBA player. I'm not saying all-star talent, rookie of the year, MVP talent, but more like if he could get you 15-5 a game and and get you and be a contributor.
I mean, I have slightly better expectations for him. I think, like you said, he is 3 years removed. I've been seeing highlights where he's been, moving off the dribble, putting the ball on the floor, getting shots up.
Yeah.
The guy, he was, again, everything was mental with him, right? Like, to me, he's still a walking triple-double. Like, I just don't see how he's not a walking triple-double because, facilitating is what he does, right?
Yep.
Like, I understand the shooting was a mental thing, and that threw his whole game off, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if he gets back into rhythm, it's going to be easy for him to get his assists. He's already a rebounding monster, and then now if he focuses on cleanup, he's a walking triple-double. Like, I still believe it.
Yeah. Yeah. I the Brooklyn Nets to me could shock a lot of teams. They could be what Cleveland was to me last year.
Right.
Remember when Cleveland first started, it was just like, oh, they're kind of for real, and they could really make some noise. And that's what like the Brooklyn Nets could be for me. And I think if Ben Simmons could be anything remotely respectable and just put up solid numbers, and he could gain the confidence, and his teammates gives him the confidence to be Ben Simmons of old. I think he could go. I think he could go far.
So one quick hot take, and then we can shut it down on the NBA talk. I got a quick hot take, man. I really do think in the next 2 to 3 years, the big free agent like news is gonna revolve around Joel Embiid. I think his time in Philly is getting close to being up. If they can't be close to championship contenders here in the next 2 to 3 years, I don't know if he's gonna ask out. Whether I really do believe he's gonna be the next big free agent on the market in some way, shape, or form.
Right. That is, why that's probably accurate, and the only thing I could contend with that is Luka. But why that is accurate is because Giannis just signed 3 years today. Right, he signed that extension. So Giannis was going to be a free agent as of next year if he didn't resign in his last year coming up this summer. But because they did an extension deal with him, you're 100% accurate of Embiid being the next big free agent. The only person that could rival Embiid is Luka Doncic. If Luka decides to not sign an extension with the Dallas Mavericks this in the next year or two, that will be the storyline because who's better? Who's a better player, Luka or Embiid, in your opinion?
I mean, I would say you would have to go with Embiid only because he's got the MVP, the recent MVP. But I mean, personally, I'm picking Luke. Hey, you know what? Honestly, I'm gonna keep it a beam with you, Joel Embiid. You know why? Because Joel Embiid does it on offense and defense. Luka is only an offensive player. When it's time to get back on defense, you know what Luka does? He goes and sits on the bench in his 5-on-4. He don't play no defense.
A fair point. I think you make it's easy for me to pick Luka, but you make a next. I'm always about can you play on both sides of the court? and they both. No, I'm not even gonna say no to your answer, but I'm gonna challenge your answer. Embiid has never even made it out of the second round. Luka's gone to the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors and lost. He's beaten some teams, you know what I'm saying, on that front. Like even though he doesn't play the defensive side, he's taken his team to not the promised land, but near the promised land to be reckoned with and had a chance to go to the NBA Finals. And he sent some team homes last, like buzzer beater shit.
No,
You know what I
he's
mean?
had like that run he had in the playoffs. That was fire, especially when they came back. What was they down to, like? I think what was it, a game 7, and they like outscored him in the. It was wild. He had a wild run that year in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
But another thing, one piece that edges Embiid over Luka is, okay, let's say Luka is disgruntled, he leaves Dallas. Let's say Embiid is disgruntled, he ends up leaving Philly. I think whatever team gets Embiid has a better chance of positioning themselves to be a championship contender than the team that gets Luka, only because you could kind of tailor Embiid's game a little bit. Luka, to me, is only effective with the ball in his hand and with the ball in his hand all the time. You feel what I'm saying?
If all right, if Embiid goes to the Knicks, does the Knicks really have a chance of winning a champ? Like, not saying they do have a chance to win a championship.
They would have to get to me. They would have to get rid of Julius.
Yeah,
And,
they have
and,
to.
and Embiid is an upgrade, and absolutely.
Yeah. Embiid. It'll be Embiid and combo guard. What they got. What's his name?
What's his name? You got to upgrade from the Canadian boy.
No, who's Brunson?
Yeah, Brunson's nasty.
But I'm saying, who are you talking about? You're talking about.
I'm talking about from Duke.
He's a 2 guard though. He's a 2-3. He's a 2-way player. You need his defense in the playoffs.
I just feel like
you need his defense, and then you still got Josh Hart, because Josh Hart came in.
I love Josh Hart.
You know what I'm saying? He came in, so you need a little bit of both. I can't remember his name right now. Barrett.
I can't stand RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett. So you need that. So my question: so if the Knicks got the money, got the cap space, and that could be a great fit. So if he goes to the Knicks, and let's say they both leave their teams at the same time, and Luka goes to. So let's say Embiid goes. Is Embiid to the Knicks a fair deal just based on what they already got?
I love it.
All right. So Embiid to the Knicks. What if Luka goes to Klay, Steph, and let's say Draymond's out of there, and you bring Luka in?
To me, that's the only team that makes sense because of Steve Kerr. He would have to fall in line over there. You know what I mean? And I could see the ball being in his hands because Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are great off the ball. Okay. Yep. But Luka's scoring got to come down. Steph gonna get him.
You know what we're gonna see about Luka this year, and I think it's very realistic. Is Kyrie and Luka is gonna has a whole offseason to play ball with each other, right? And they're going. Kyrie only played what? They got traded with like 11 games left, something crazy like that, or whatever it was. So I think you're gonna see what you haven't been able to see from Luka, with Kyrie taking a lot of the pressure off of him. Mm-hmm. But I do agree that you could see, and you could make the argument for Embiid being the better player than Luka, and vice versa. But if I had to choose one, politically correct and favoritism, politically correct, I'm going to say Luka, and just pure building off of an NBA team. If I'm building an NBA team, do I want Embiid or do I want Luka? I think I want Luka.
I mean, there's no wrong answer here. Both of these guys are great players.
I think. Because you can't go wrong with Embiid, right? You can't go wrong with him. You get rebounding, you get everything. But the only thing you don't get from Embiid is durability. He's prone to miss time when it comes to these games. That's the only thing that
Luka, be getting knickknacks too. Let's not act like my man is LeBron out here and don't get hurt. Never got hurt early in his career. That boy be getting hurt too.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
So,
yeah. I like I like I like I'm excited about this NBA season. There's just a lot of good things. I feel like the league does not have a clear-cut champion.
No, not at all. There's a lot of teams that could really win it, and I like that. You know what I mean? But let's not kid ourselves. The Celtics, man, they are top two in terms of front runners for the NBA championship, and they're not number two. Let's be dead serious about it. Let's make no qualms about what the white folks be saying. Let's make no qualms about it. You heard? Let's be dead serious. They are. Everybody is looking at them like they are the team to beat. Okay, like anything less than a finals appearance is a disappointment. And I told y'all this earlier in the chat. There's no more next year, next year, next year. I let niggas slide too much with the next year. I was impatient. This is the year, bro. Okay? Like, I understand we got a window. We still got a few years window. We got at least a 5-year window, at least, okay, with Jaylen Brown and JT. But I don't want to look at it as a 5-year window. We need to look at it as we need to win now.
I'm in between your take, and the reason why I'm in between your take is because I agree with you, but I'm also trying as a C's fan, I'm trying to temper my expectations here a little bit. Okay, I heard somebody on another network say the Celtics always disappoint you when it comes to like the final stages of completing the mission, and they don't really get over the hump. They get there, but they don't do anything once they get there, right? And we expect the Celtics to be in the Final Four. Let's just say that we're expecting them to be in the Eastern Conference Finals, and we expect them to beat whoever it is that comes in front of them to get to the NBA Finals. I temper my expectations with the Celtics just for this reason. Everything you said is 100%, and I don't want to be heartbroken. Everything you're saying is 100%. Because I don't think there's a team that could beat us in a 7-game series. The greatness of Giannis and Dame could probably it's going to take like 50-point games, 30, one has to score 45, one has to score like 30, like they have to go for 40 apiece. Or do some Kyrie LeBron shit, or what they did to the Warriors type shit, block the final shot off the backboard type shit for them to really fucking beat us. But dog, I'm scared because we are the best team in the NBA, and a lot of people's not putting it. A lot of people, you have to respect Denver, and you have to respect what the previous 2 champs or 3 champs have done, right? So Golden State, we're not saying they're contenders. They want to be contenders, and they have the right to be mentioned as contenders, but not top-tier contenders. The Nuggets are the current champions, so we're going to mention them as contenders. The Bucks have a Giannis who won a championship and beat Phoenix. He's a contender, and he got Dame now. I don't know what the Phoenix Suns are going to do, but they have a former champion on that squad. But the Boston Celtics are primed to win an NBA championship, and that is only if Kristaps Porzingis could play 65 games in the regular season and go into the playoffs fully healthy and not miss a game.
I'll tell you, bro, if we all stay healthy, it's really scary hours for the league, man. Because if Drew Holiday is healthy, like he's locking shit up.
Drew Holiday could get injured to me and we win a chip.
See, and
here's the reason why. Because Derek White is that dude to me. Drew Holiday gives us flexibility, right? He gives us the ability to do some extra shit. But Derek White is that dude to me. Derek White can't do everything that Drew Holiday could do, but he could do it somewhat good too. Like he could do it at a level that is high enough to get us over. And I'm going to say this, and this is my hot take. And I said Porzingis was going to score the most points for the Celtics. I'm going to readjust that. I think he's probably going to be. I think he has a good chance of being the second leading scorer in the Celtics. But the guy that's going to be I don't know his name yet. I have to look at his roster. I have to look at the roster. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look at it right now. But Peyton Pritchard to me is going to be a key for us. And I know it's not a favorable take. I know how you guys fill up in the group chat. I know what you guys think.
It could go. He could beat his feet.
And I'm telling you right now, the same way when I said the Celtics are going to sign Kristaps Porzingis when we first ended our offseason, and not Danny Ainge, Brad Stevens had a choice to make, and he went to go make that move because I just seen like the fit. They gave that man 4 years, $30 million. They did not trade him, even though when he was involved in trade talks to go to Phoenix, to go to Portland, to go wherever. They gave him 3 years, 4 years, $30 million. He's going to be an X factor this season, and I think we're going to appreciate him more because he's really going to get a good chance to play 15 to 17, maybe 20 minutes a game. And Kristaps Porzingis needs to stay healthy if we're going to win anything. Anything.
But you know what? He's been healthy these last few years. I don't see the injury bug biting him. We should be good, man. Fingers crossed, toes crossed. Next subject. I don't want to jinx nothing. Let's wrap it up. That's enough. You know what I mean? Let's wrap it up with this last point. Let's pivot back to football really quick, man.
Yeah.
The Patriots extended Bill Belichick. Okay.
Yep.
Now,
before the season started.
Okay. Yeah, and a lot of dudes were talking about his job. That's why it's funny. The media, it's crazy because when they want to keep things under wraps, they keep them under wraps. Okay, because there's no way the media is having all of these talks about Belichick's job, knowing that he got extended. This news just dropped. Okay.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I feel like we've been misled by the media because there's been a lot of these false reports, like, oh, Kraft, here's the fan base, blah, blah, it's always in Bill we trust at the end of the day, but something has to happen. You know what I mean? Like we have to be more dynamic, and I don't know how we get to be more dynamic, but we need to be more dynamic.
Okay, so So the question you're asking is,
how do we feel about the extension?
Okay.
Of Bill Belichick.
Okay. The one thing, when you want something to be known, like, all right, I'm gonna give you a real life scenario, right? If you and your girl's having issues, right, and you call a few of your friends, even though you're calling your friends, whatever, but if you start telling people, you want people to know your business. But if you don't tell nobody and you just keep it to between you and the four walls and your girl, or whatever problems y'all having, nobody knows that until you actually release that information, maybe down the line after the situation is resolved or once you get to a particular point. I firmly believe, and I heard Stephen A. say this, and I hate mentioning his name because he's technically a competitor right now, but I heard Stephen A. say this plenty of times. When you hear rumors like the Lakers want to get rid of Russell Westbrook and they feel like he's a deterrent to the locker room and LeBron James wants to move on from him and LeBron James giving the okay, that's because somebody went and said, hey, this is what we heard. Do we have the green light to put this out? Or somebody gave that information to that person, to the media, to say, hey, this is what we heard, so run with it. To me, the Patriots have done this our lives, actually. If they don't want something to be known, it won't be known. You won't ever get that. So I don't think the media misled us. I just think it's a Patriots way of them being so tight in regards to what happens behind their closed doors that you never, ever, ever really know. You could take a guess. You could take a stab. Like they let you know that they let you this offseason. They said, hey, we're going to let you know about D-Hop. But they really keep a lot of shit close to the vest. How do I feel about Bill Belichick getting this extension? What we don't know is the layout. It just says lucrative extension. We don't know how long. We don't know what that means. We don't know if that means, hey, you got a year of head coaching and then you go into the GM role and let Mayo come up. We just know that he's going to be a Patriot for the next X amount of years based on what we got, and we know that he's going to command a lot of money and a lot of dollars. So, how do I feel? Bill Belichick is a great football mind. Bill Belichick could be a consultant for us. He could be somebody that we use to get to leverage certain things that we probably won't be able to leverage. And I agree with you. We need to get younger. Patriots need to be able to, be more explosive on the offense. Mac Jones' development is not totally on him. Yes, I said he sucked on our last episode, but in hindsight, 2020, when you come in, if you gave me a like, when we first start driving, if your mom gives you, and you could attest to this, if your mom's lets you drive the Avalon, you ride in for a little bit, right? But if the next year the Avalon kind of goes away and they give you, a Honda Civic that needs a transmission and has transmission problems, then you kind of sucking a little bit. You know what I mean? You got to figure that shit out. So, with that being said, that analogy is to say that, the first year he had Josh McDaniels. Second year, he had two guys that were on the defensive side. And this year he has Bill O'Brien. So the growth of Mac Jones is not entirely on him because he's been in somewhat of a chaotic situation, which is unpatriot-like. So for me, the extension doesn't really mean much to me. What matters to me is I really want to, after this game, you now are 2-5. Can you get to 5-5? Can you get to 4-5 and make me think that you have an opportunity and that I want to see Mac look somewhat decent and somewhat good. We may not make the playoffs, but that win against the Bills was telling. The schedule was extremely tough in the beginning. I think it goes lighter as it progresses into the season. Can you win meaningful football games? Can Belichick coach and Pop Douglas? I don't know how he looked, but he was active, and I felt like I heard he had a few highlight catches. So, can you use some of your young players? But that news doesn't bother me. It doesn't make me go up or down. When I seen it, I was just like, okay, I've known Bill Belichick my entire life. I'm going to know him longer for a few more years. You know what I'm saying? So, I just want him to. Once we get more details of what that contract really means, then to me, I can make a judgment on it. But realistically, I don't know. And it doesn't bother me because in Bill I trust, and I've trusted him my entire life. I'm not going to stop trusting him. I just want him to be able to be adaptable to what's going to go on in the near future with the state of the team, and really take in consideration, like, is Mac Jones that guy? If he's not, let's tank it. Let's go draft another quarterback, or let's put some pieces around him, or go trade for Kirk Cousins, right? Like, do something that makes me feel like you have the best interest of the future of the team, and not your accolades is just trying to get to the most winningest head coach out there.
No, agreed. Like I said, man, all we've known for most of our lives has been Bill Belichick, and so
yeah,
like I said, man, greatest coach ever, and Bill we trust. So, as they go, we go. And like I said, man, it's been up and down. I want some more sense of normalcy. Obviously, we want to return back to that, high functioning Patriot team that we've always been, that we've, come to know for the most part. But that's going to take time. But again, I'm not, I think I said it on the last episode, I'm still going to talk my shit. I'm still going to judge. I'm still going to hold them to a high standard because that's all I know. But bro, we definitely got to do something. Something is on the horizon.
Yeah, I mean, we got, money is not an issue for the Pats. It's never been an issue. It's really about the pieces, right? And I just really think, like, let me just, before we get off, I know we about to log off. I just want to look at their schedule, their remaining schedule really quick. Give me 1 second. You got the Pats schedule up by any chance?
I don't. I can try to pull it up real fast.
I got it. So we beat the Bills. I mean, Miami's coming off of a loss, but that's a division team, and we're going to Miami, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say, let's say we have to beat Miami, right? Because after Miami, if you beat Miami, you have the Commanders at home, the Colts at home. You go on the road to face New York, the Giants, and then you have the Chargers. Okay, so if you beat Miami, you go 3-3. If you win at home against the Commanders and the Colts, you're 5-5. And then
5-3.
Well, you lost 5 games already.
Oh, okay. Because you just said we were 3-3 after we had.
I'm sorry. Right now we're 2-5.
Okay.
If we beat the Dolphins,
we're 3
it'll be 3-5. And if you beat the Commanders and if you beat the Colts, you're 5-5.
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
So you have to beat the Dolphins in a sense.
Right.
And you definitely have to win the next 2 games. Now you're 5-5, right? And then your game after that, you're now 6. You could be 6-5 because you play the New York Giants. And then it gets a little tough because you play the Chargers, you play the Steelers, you play the Chiefs, then you play the Broncos, then you play the Bills again, and then you play the Jets. So
sounds like a 500 season to me.
Yeah, facts. There's a way, but I think if the Patriots could turn it on and get to the Giants at 5-5, the season can turn around a little bit because anything could happen, and it could turn around and you can still have a playoff spot with 5 losses, but it'll be tough because you really can't have 7 losses, 8 losses to try to make the playoffs. It's not possible.
Right.
It's not possible.
But again, I don't want to make the playoffs just to get bounced out, you know?
I don't want to not make the playoffs to get shit talked to in Baltimore. So we got 2 different objectives right there, buddy. Because I the one thing I don't like is there's a notion of we're not even a playoff team. And you got to understand, like, that's terrible, bro. We've never – how many times have we missed the playoffs?
No, I agree. No, I agree. That is terrible. But look, just last week, I was saying we shouldn't win no games. We won that game against the Bills, and it was like a yay! Oh shit! Like we winning games out here. Like we might need to.
I can't. I'm sorry, bro. I don't care about the like. I understand we want to get a draft pick, but like, man, listen, I rather. It's like Madden, right? So like you could lose games, and my thing is I'd rather build the quarterback I got right now and build around him and suffer for a year or 2. In this case, 1.5 years, because we had a good first year with Mac Jones, and then we had a sucky. And mind you, we won 9 games last year. It's not like we didn't win games. We won games last year. We just couldn't score points, and we thought we were going to score points this season. So my thing is, you just need to really be able to score points. And it looks like the 49ers are about to take their second L. That's crazy, right? To the Vikings. And that's why it's any given Sunday. Because this like shit like this is crazy. 17-22, 2 minutes 19 left. Addison just made a big play for a first down. And like, what's the talk after this, dude? You know what I mean? This is on Monday Night Football. This is prime time. They say Kirk Cousins don't play in prime time, but Jordan Addison is balling tonight. Oh my goodness, he's balling. Anyways, man. So, I know we do this part. Wait, before we get off, I know we do this podcast, okay? But we go into fantasy basketball season, so. The days let's make a truce right now. The days that we don't do the podcast, we're enemies. Okay?
Yeah.
And then when we come on the podcast, we'll be cordial.
Hey, I'm that's fine by me, man.
Do me a favor, just don't send no bullshit trades.
Look, I ain't never send no bullshit, man. It's funny because something's in the water because I used to have a bullshit trade reputation. I've been sending good trades this year. But you sent me some bullshit and you rejected me.
No bullshit.
Hold on. Yes, because I sent you a text and something like I didn't even address the specific trade. You sent a trade in fantasy football and you immediately took it away because you knew it was some bullshit. But I got the email alert for it. And then I looked at my in the app and it was gone. I'm like, oh, he canceled it. And then I text you. I said something like that was some bullshit.
No, you said be respect. No, that's you talk about 2 different. The trade I sent you was like Michael Thomas and like somebody else for or whatever, and that trade stuck through. There was a trade that I did cancel because I sent you like Metcalf and Ford, and I canceled that trade. Like I sent you like something with Metcalf
Yeah,
because I
whatever
was.
trade you canceled, that's the trade I sent you the text about.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. I felt like that
Yeah.
was a decent trade. Well,
Nah.
not a decent trade, but like I don't know what league that trade was. I think it was in Bread League, definitely. That trade was in. It was in Bread League. But yeah, man. Whatever we do is, hopefully, good luck in your fantasy football team. Good luck in your fantasy football. Yeah, you won a few games back, and now it looks like those pieces are clicking through. Fantasy basketball is yet to be seen because it could go either way. You could have
good about my team, man. So
yeah, me too. I feel like I got a stellar team. Like I feel like I drafted some pieces, and obviously, if they can stay healthy, we'll be a-okay. But nah, man. You are getting an earful. It's your boy, Ron Ray. I have my man, Vocio, in the building. We are presented by Blue Cat. Please take it.
Shout out Bread, man. Like,
shout out Bread.
Best burgers in Boston, man. You'll never get a burger that's smoked and to perfection. Yep. So, shout out Bread.
Yep. Shout out Bread and that gang. And hopefully you guys will see us sooner than later. And it's a pleasure to do this, and you're getting an earful.
See y'all next week.
It's the fast life. Shit. It's cash life. See no nights. I'm with your wife. Yeah. Fresh up out the stool, hit my goons like what it do. I hope they got some bud, tryna smoke like 1 or 2. You know how I do, another night out with the crew, and I'm whipping something new. All the girls like, who are you? You know how we use it, paid up off this music. Shorty got some good brain, but she never use it. Look at the improvement, sunny side the movement. I take a girl and never bring her back just for amusement. After we do it, yep, it's going down. 617, watch us put on for the town. Flyest team around, and your girl won't disagree. And there's only one of me, had to take one for the team. Him the newest track jack, polo had to match that. Paper coming always, stuff a load of knapsack. Woman catching flashbacks, waiting at my door. Says she know my name is Pass, we ain't never met before. Word around town, we the hottest team around. Catch me in your city, then you know we shut it down. I got a ball, got a ball, I got a ball, got a ball, got a ball, got a ball, got a ball. Every night performing, you know we touring. Hit the club in your town, bottles keep on pouring. I got a ball, got a ball, I got a ball, got a ball, I got a ball, got a ball, I got a ball. Yeah, I'm about to stunt. You know I got a ball like Kobe, 4th quarter with the ball. Get out of my arena, I'm about to John Wall. First I hit your chick, then we hit the mall. Lot of bags in our hand like I just copped the wall. Take a look in my closet, you would think I copped them all. Haters fall back, I ain't hearing none of y'all. I haul ass, got you niggas stalled, shocked and appalled. But fuck y'all, I ain't doing it for them. Exotic women and they all chasing him. I tell them let's go, they wait for me to say when. Pour a little hand with the grandma, yeah. Ice cubes to cool it up, today was a good day. Getting paid is my forte, I take flights with no delay. 617 is on the way, I want a ball, so let's play. Hey, word around town, we the hottest team around. Catch me in your city, then you know we shut it down. I got a ball, got a ball, I got a ball, got a ball, I got a ball, got a ball, I got a ball. Every night performing, you know we touring. Hit the club in your town, bottles keep on pouring. I got a ball, got a ball, I 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 got a ball.